ourselves. We must be in control of ourselves. I must do what I say. That's healthy. That's masculine. That's what's up. I mean, what did you think the title was about? Jeez. But a lot of guys forget that. Self-control. You know, that's the hard work, the inner struggle, the lesser jihad, the internal battle against our own desires and inclinations. Men, we have an impulse to control, to manage, to establish and delineate boundaries. Masculine energy, it's limitary by nature, informed by an existential awareness of our fundamental expendability. Now, we'll address that in another video, but for now, just recognize that men don't have a lot of unique functional utility apart from procreation. So we kind of have to make up reasons to stay in the game. To stay alive, we effectively need to justify our very existence. And so we make the rules, we enforce the laws, we defend against invasion, whether ideological or physical, whatever form that might take. But before we do any of that, we need to turn that impulse to control inward. Self-control, self-discipline, self-mastery. Man, the respect and confidence that come out of that, it's irresistible. What's repulsive is the man who tries to control others while he himself is completely out of control. He's eating without thinking. He's sleeping through his prayers. He's not setting any goals for himself. He's not holding himself accountable for the manner in which he uses his time or spends his money or the company that he keeps. None of it. And all the while, this Muslim man is chastising women, telling them to cover up, stay in their lane, blaming her for his indiscretions, beating his children because they haven't shown him an ounce of respect when he hasn't shown them how to do that by respecting himself. Our highest honor as Muslim men is that God should provide to others through us emotional and financial security, mentorship, guidance, protection. It's our responsibility to make sure that we are providing all of that and more to our kin and to our community with wisdom and with compassion and with a measured hand. The truly pathetic man is the one who imagines that he is anything other than a conduit for the provision of others. The man who imagines that the money he earns belongs to him, or that the time he has been blessed with is his to hoard, that man is a selfish miser, pathetic, absolutely doomed to disgrace, and almost certainly loathed by all of those with even a shred of decency. There are people out there baiting our young men with flashy cars and watches and classless women dripping off their arms. But these aren't men. These are children, wildly insecure brats and bullies, and every single one of them is a grifter, there to sell you a coaching class that's just going to turn everybody involved into a childish idiot. But let's choose all of that for a moment. Let's sign up to their courses, and let's say everything they promise actually pans out. You've come to define yourself through stuff, and that stuff has to be maintained, doesn't it? You're gonna have to hire security to protect those cars and watches. You'll attract the worst of the worst, the most loathsome people who don't care a lick about you. They just want to be associated with the things you have and the status that has been acquired through those possessions. These are backstabbing sons of bitches. They just want what you have, and the moment they have an opportunity to take it, they will. So you can't trust a soul, and you're watching your back constantly. And it's only down from there. And you know that. You fear that more than anything else, losing your things, your status, your identity, which is now tied to a collection of absolute ephemeral garbage. Now compare that to the man who is truly possessed of himself. He doesn't need a single thing to affirm him. He's taken a covenant with God, and he understands his role to protect and to provide. He doesn't allow himself to become attached to anything, whether possessions or outcomes. He is neither exultant in his victories or despondent in his failures. Why? Because he held himself accountable every single step of the way. He knows in his heart and soul that he did everything he possibly could. And if things don't play out the way that he imagined, he knows that that is only an invitation from God to dig a little bit deeper, because there is always more humility to discover. There is always more resilience to condition. There is always more patience to forge. I'm not that guy, by the way. I'm sharing an aspiration. I'm putting these ideas out there so that we can work on them collectively as men. I'm introducing a level of sort of public scrutiny and accountability that helps keep me on task. These are the moral standards that I hope to embody. And you know the best place to do that work? Outside. Rock climbing is actually my preferred modality for this type of work. It forces you into the present moment. It puts you in touch with some really primal emotions, life and death, fear and elation, and you've got to figure out a way to manage all of that if you're going to actually climb and not just freeze. I've written quite a bit about it, and if you want to read more, you can. I'll leave a link in the description, but if you want to try it out, we're hosting a rock climbing trip Valentine's Day weekend in Southern California. That's February 14th through 16th. Men only, 16 on up. Very beginner friendly, and this is not a grift. We're not promising to transform your life, although making outdoor adventure a priority certainly has the potential to do that, but this is purely transactional. You pay us, brother, and we will mentor you through your first climbing experience. If you're not ready to climb, you want to do something a little sooner, we still have spots available for our Coed backpacking trip in January. Men and women 16 on up. That's in Point Reyes, Central California. Check out the link in the description. We'll see you outside.